Going back to the income tax proposal, Mr. Golding, because several people have been taking issue with your numbers. The PNP's assertion that it can fund the proposal through projected revenue growth doesn't seem to take into, as well as organic revenue growth, doesn't seem to take into account increase in expenditure. That's also projected, as well as low growth rates that no government in recent years has managed to overcome. Isn't it true that your numbers just don't add up?
What programs will be cut from the Jamaican people in order to fund Mark Golding's $3.5 million tax cuts? This is a very serious question that the Jamaican public must ask themselves. I understand that Mark Golding has simplified this campaign promise to appeal to the Jamaican electorate. It's very simple. If you make less than 3.5 million per year, you do not pay any income tax. Majority of Jamaicans make less than 3.5 million per year. I don't know the numbers, but I know most of Jamaicans are low income. A lot of Jamaicans are low income. So, of course, this is going to appeal to a massive voting bloc in the Jamaican electorate. Despite that sounds really good and appealing, Jamaicans must understand that the country run on taxes. So if the Jamaican government reduce the tax income from a massive part of the population, they have to make the money somewhere else because the country must run on taxes. They have to get that money from somewhere else. So where is the money coming from? Where will the money come from? Dion Jackson Miller clearly states that Mark Golding maths does not add up. And she's not the only one. You have economics in the country are saying, this doesn't look right. And Prime Minister Andrew Holness is also saying that the country has not grown since independence, really, has not grown to that level whereby the country can afford to give that amount of tax break to a large population of the Jamaican economy. It's just not possible. So there must have to be cuts somewhere. We hear Mark Golding clearly states that he will not carry on the policies of the Andrew Holness administration because people, if he becomes next government, is part of the PNP, people are voting for change. And that is a fair statement. The problem is, will he gut every single program that the Andrew Holness government have in place, which is working? That sounds like what he intended to do. And let me just simplify this for most Jamaicans. It's like moving in a new apartment. You throw everything out, you clean the whole apartment, you bring new things in. That cleaning process is a struggling process because you're cleaning everything out. So a Mark Golding administration will bring the Jamaican economy in an upheaval, a lot of supposition, because he's banking on the current trajectory growth of the Jamaican economy. A growth, I might add, from the Andrew Holness administration, paying down the debt. He said that. So he stated that paying down, Jamaica has paid down its debt. So that will bring input and expenditure at a level whereby there will be sufficient money in the budget to fund his $3.5 million tax cut. We clearly state that, Andrew Holness stated that, and of course, Dion Jackson Miller, among others, are saying the country has not grown that exponential in order for Mark Golding to have that amount of access in the budget. So where that money is going to come from? What is he going to cut? Andrew Holness is talking about programs that can be cut. Andrew Holness highlighted pharmaceutical. We see how many Jamaicans have argued that the Andrew Holness administration has put a lot of tax dollars in funding their medication. Is that going to be cut? Is that one of the programs going to be cut? So we really have to think about this proposal of Mark Golding. Is it a doable program? Can he fund this? Again, he stated that with the tax cut, there's going to be more money in people's pocket, so they're going to be spending more, coming back into the economy. But that's a supposition. We don't know what's going to happen. It's very unfair for the Jamaican electorate to think somebody who basically doesn't have the math, the correct math, say, okay, I'm going to give you all this tax cut and then you're going to give it back to us. So you're going to take from one hand and put it back in the other hand. I think the Jamaican public really, really need to think about this political campaign proposal very well, which many people argue is not doable. Again, think of what is going to be cut in order to fund this $3.5 million tax cut.
Going back to the income tax proposal, Mr. Golding, because several people have been taking issue with your numbers. The PNP's assertion that it can fund the proposal through projected revenue growth doesn't seem to take into, as well as organic revenue growth, doesn't seem to take into account increase in expenditure that's also projected, as well as low growth rates that no government in recent years has managed to overcome. Isn't it true that your numbers just don't add up?
The fiscal policy paper does project over the next 3 years some $160 billion of additional revenue. The degree to which there are accompanying expenses will depend on how we manage the expense side of the budget. There's also the fact that there are $360 billion of programs in the budget that represent the priorities of a given government at a particular point in time. When we are elected, we're not going to be elected to maintain the current trajectory that Jamaica is on. People want to see change. And most fundamentally, the issue really is the fact that we are coming to the end of the period of austerity, the period where Jamaica has been for 13 and a half years, steadfastly paying down debt. So that the debt to GDP ratio, which we inherited at 147% of GDP at the beginning of 2012, is now, in this fiscal year, projected to achieve the target of 60% of GDP. Once that happens, we no longer have to reduce debt as a priority. We just have to maintain that debt profile. That will release resources of 2.5% to 3% of GDP, which is close to $90 billion of additional resources which no longer have to be part of your primary surplus target. So we will be able to fund our program quite comfortably come April next year when the fiscal year starts.
Dr. Holness,
there is a song which says, when the rum tells you you're a big dancer. I don't know what the leader of the opposition was drinking. Firstly, the debt to GDP for this fiscal year is not projected to be 60%. It is projected to be 65% thereabouts. If the leader of the opposition is depending on growth to provide the revenues for $75 billion of expenditure, the country would have to grow between 8 and 10%, which has not done that since the 60s. Thirdly, yes, there are $300 billion of programs. What are these programs? Pharmaceuticals.
Thank you.
Jamaica Live, your trusted news source, both locally and internationally. Please like, share, comment, and contribute to the conversation. Support independent media. Your donations are not just appreciated, they are essential to keeping Jamaica Live alive and thriving. Join us in making a difference. Donate today. Scan the QR code on our website or donate via PayPal to JamaicaLive TVNews@gmail.com.